Yo, what's up guys, and welcome to a new video. A lot of people have been asking me lately how to avoid downtime during your rotation, or they even say that it's unavoidable. And usually I brush it off by saying that you have to rage pool better. And then I get a lot of questions on rage pooling, question mark, what is rage pooling? So, since a lot of people aren't familiar with the concept of rage pooling, what better way is there to explain it than with a short video about it? So for everyone watching that isn't completely sure about their rotation yet, I will leave my guide to Fury Warrior down below in the description, and I would highly advise you to watch that first. But if you already know your way around Fury and you're more interested in just the advanced ways of optimizing your rotations, then this is the video for you. Now, you might have some troubles applying this straight off the bat, so don't be discouraged if you don't make it work instantly, and it probably takes some practice before you get it right. So before we get into it, we are very close to that 1000 subscriber mark, and it would mean a lot to me if you guys could help me out and get there. Alright, now that we've got that behind us, let's get into what rage pooling actually is. And this concept is more important for Mythic Plus than it is for Raid, since you are less likely to run out of globals in Raid. Rage pooling is basically a term used for not instantly using your rampage whenever you're above the 80 rage mark, and whenever you don't have a bloodbath available to you. Now, that might sound a bit confusing, but don't worry, I will explain what I mean with this. So, let's say that you just use your rampage and you use the bloodbath into a slam. Now you manage to get to 80 rage and probably think, let's use a rampage, because that is what the rotation guide has told you to do. While you are normally right with this, you also have a bloodthirst available to you at this point. If you use the bloodthirst, it will not overcap you on rage, but it will make it so that you have more rage left after you use your rampage. So most of you will probably wonder why you would need to do this or how this is even useful. The answer to this is pretty much revolved around min-maxing your rotation. In Mythic Plus specifically, you are locked to using Whirlwind in your 5th global in AoE to make sure that you can cleave. That means that in some situations you will not have Whirlwind available to you as a filler global in between your bloodthirsts. This only happens to you outside of CDs pretty much, however, and you might need some bad luck with Recklessness procs here to run out. But it can also be very useful to stack up Rage before sending an Odin's Fury, so that you are less likely to have to use Bloodthirsts rather than Bloodbaths. Now, because that 5th global is locked to being Whirlwind, it might happen that you have to use Whirlwind into Bloodthirst into Slam. We will then proceed to press our buttons following the normal rotation. However, we will not be able to reach enough Rage to press Rampage just yet, and both Slam and Whirlwind are on cooldown because we used them as fillers before, and we just press our Bloodthirst. Now, this is the downtime that many people refer to as the unavoidable downtime. However, the simple solution would have been to use another Bloodthirst after our Slam. Even though we've already had enough Rage to use our Rampage, we should have just used that extra bloodthirst, which is referred to as rage pooling. Now this sounds very complicated, but the common rule of thumb is that whenever you are under 110 rage and you are not influenced by recklessness, you can use another bloodthirst before you use rampage. If you do this correctly, that will mean that you will have more rage coming into your next rotation and you will most likely not run out of globals. I do want to explain one exception to this, however, and that is whenever you use Odin's Fury. You preferably try everything that you can do to use bloodbaths instead of bloodthirsts for your empowered hits. This means that you're pretty much gambling on either getting a recklessness proc or risk the potential of a half of a second downtime for a potential increase of DPS. Now you can also just use empowered bloodthirsts, however they hit for less, so you kinda want to try to avoid this. Now, I don't have the exact sims to back this up, but from practice, whenever you rage pool before using Odin's Fury, you will 90% of the time be able to use all 3 empowered hits as bloodbaths. I know this was a bit of a different video than what you are used to, and I'm sure that it might leave you guys with some questions, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them while I'm streaming live on Twitch or in the description down below. And I want to thank you all for watching. And as always, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing, and hope to catch you in the next one.